On Erev Shabbos, we're going to read the Slichos of Yom Shishi. In the Pism, we say responsively, we conclude each phrase with the famous words of Esther Hamalka when she was asked by Achashverosh, what is her request, what is your petition? She responded those famous words, Nafshi b'shelosi v'yami b'vakoshosi. My soul is my request, my nation is my petition. Why are these words relevant to us in these days as we prepare to go into Rosh Hashanah and the Slichos? Words that she said in response to Achashverosh. There's another word that we borrow and introduce to our tefillos of Rosh Hashanah. We introduce in the bracha of Kedushas Hashem, several paragraphs begin with the word Ubechein. Ubechein ten partecho, Ubechein ten kavod, Ubechein tzadikim. These echo another phrase that Esther Hamalka said in response to Mordechai encouraging her to risk her life on behalf of her people. She responds, Uvechein avoya lamelech, and so I will go into the king. We introduce these words again. What is it about Esther specifically that we introduce in the Slichos and we echo in our tefillos on Rosh Hashanah? Our purpose in this world is not for ourselves. The Nefesh HaChaim is quoted by his son Rabbi Zvi in the introduction to the Nefesh HaChaim, the Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, the famous work of Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, the illustrious Talmud, the primary disciple of the Vilna Gaon, and his son writes that my father often taught me, Le nivra adam li atzmai. We weren't created to be placed on this planet to serve ourselves. The sole purpose we're here is lahoil la'achrini, to assist, help, encourage others. That is the purpose of why God put us on this earth. Esther knew, Uvechein avei halamelech. I'm ready to go, kasher avadati avadati. I know the consequences. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about my role and what I can do for my people. The difference between she'ela, request, and bakasha, and petition. She'ela is something I need, I would like. Bakasha is something I need. She stands before Achashverosh. Nafshi b'she'elasi. I ask that you save my soul. But that's not critical. What's critical is ami b'vakashasi. When we come to Rosh Hashanah, what we have to remember is our purpose on this planet is not to receive the bounty that makes us happy and comfortable. It's about what we need so that we can serve and be, as the famous Alta of Kelm often encouraged his Talmidim, and it's recorded in his Svarim, that one of the skulos, one of the special things we can implement to affect a positive judgment is to be a person who rabim tzrichim lei. Many need you, because when you fall into that category, then Hashem will allot all you need to continue to serve in that capacity. A dear friend of mine, who I met when I first came to Baltimore, an immigrant from Iran who was a famous, renowned physician in his country, but left to create better opportunities in Yiddishkeit and otherwise for his children. And he came to this country and he couldn't parlay his profession onto this continent, and he ended up purchasing a Sfarim store, the Central Hebrew Bookstore. And throughout those years, he often shared with me that he saw his role not merely as someone providing parnasa for his family, but the many people who came to his store, not just religious Jews, but everything in between until the most unaffiliated, who came for a yahrzeit candle, for a bar mitzvah gift, for a mezuzah perhaps, a talis. He saw himself as a connection to these people who met an individual who was impeccably dressed, who was extremely dignified, very warm, very accepting, very scholarly, and he saw himself in that role. And that's how he saw himself all those years. He recently took ill, and he's dealing with the infirmities of that illness. He's presently in the hospital. May this inspiration be a schooler for him, a schooler for his refuah, because he was and is a person, Rabbi Zvi Teichman, and we need him. And he told me a very touching story as he closed up his shop. And he was consolidating and doing a clearance. He had recorded nearly 20 years ago that there was someone who had bought a gift certificate that didn't redeem it. He went and researched until he found the person and told him, I'm consolidating my store. It's time to redeem the certificate. Either take merchandise or I will redeem it for you, give you the cash value. Amazing. Legally, halachically, who knows whether he was still responsible. But a person who lives for others, who's a Rabbim Tzrichim Loi, there's nothing greater than that. May Simon Tov ben Tamar be given a refuah shleima b'toy shachar Yisrael. May all of us learn to be Rabbim Tzrichim Loi. You don't have to head a chesed organization. You don't have to give tzedakah. You don't have to be involved in teaching or the rabbinate. Just be purposeful. Be kind. Give a smile to the people around you. Be sensitive to the people near you. Make room in your table for someone to sit in shul. Look at yourself and your role towards your family as not someone ingratiating himself, but rather doing for others. Because the moment we become Rabbim Tzrichim Loi, we can echo the words and emulate our great ancestor Esther Hamalka, who said, "Nafshi b'shelasi va'ami b'vakoshasi." If we live our lives inspired in that way, Hashem will assure that He will give us good life, a happy life, a long life, so we can continue to serve His children.